October is here, and that means a batch of new PlayStation 4 games to go over. Now, to be perfectly honest, I don't think this coming October is quite as heavy as some of the Octobers we've had in years past. I blame the current world situation a lot for that. And with the next-gen consoles coming in November, you know, a lot of people are just waiting out on that, and November is seemingly going to be a big month with games like Cyberpunk, Spider-Man, Demon's Souls, whatever you want to talk about there. But that's November. October still has a lot of compelling titles, so without further ado, I want to highlight 13 games coming out in October, so let's get right into it. And I want to kick off on one of the biggest games of the year. I don't think it's too much of a stretch to say that, and that is the return of Crash Bandicoot with Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy was received so well that now we have Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time. Now, I'll be perfectly honest, I am not as nostalgic as most people when it comes to Crash Bandicoot. My franchise really was Spyro, and that's why I hope Activision will go back to the well and create a new Spyro game as well. However, Crash 4 is still incredibly exciting. Really, I enjoyed the Crash games by playing Crash Bandicoot The Insane Trilogy. I played them as a kid a little bit, but not as much as when I got the Insane Trilogy, and the Insane Trilogy was fantastic. And now we have a brand new game, and so far the gameplay for the title has looked spectacular, and everything about the game I think looks really solid. It's sometimes a little bit hard to justify dropping $59.99 on a platformer, but I think Crash 4 is going to be one that's going to be well worth it, and this one will be out October 2nd. Next up, also out October 2nd, I want to give a shout out to Star Wars Squadrons. This one looks pretty good. I mean, it is priced at a budget price point at $39.99, and it looks like a solid Star Wars game. I mean, after Jedi Fallen Order was relatively decent and EA, built up Battlefront 2 to be pretty good, I think they've gotten some goodwill back as far as Star Wars is concerned, so they really need to deliver with this one as well. This one notes, master the art of starfighter combat in the authentic piloting experience Star Wars Squadrons. Buckle up and feel the adrenaline of first-person multiplayer space dogfights alongside your squadrons. Pilots who enlist will step into the cockpits of starfighters, both from the New Republic and Imperial fleets, with fight in a strategic 5v5 space battles. Modify your starfighter and adjust the composition of your squadron to suit the various playstyles and crush the opposition. The game notes all wings report in, plan skirmishes with your squadron, master legendary starfighters, live your Star Wars pilot fantasy, and the mission is clear. It's a fully self-contained experience from day one where you earn rewards through play, climb the ranks, and unlock new components like weapons, hulls, engine shields, and cosmetic items. Again, at a $39.99 budget price point, I think it's going to be something that people do end up picking up due to that. We'll see how it turns out, as it will be dropping on October 2nd. Next up, we have a game that's going a little bit under the radar, but it looks really good, and that is Foregone. Foregone is noted to be a fast and fluid 2D action platformer packed with legendary loot and stunning pixel art. Collect an arsenal of powerful weapons and loot, and unravel a compelling story of regret and conspiracy as you slice your way through hordes of enemies to save Calagon. Now, this is a game that definitely has an old school look, so maybe it won't be for everyone, but man, oh man, right when I saw this game, I was incredibly captivated by it, and it was a title that I definitely had to keep on my radar. And now that we're getting close to the release, one that I am really excited about. Has a wonderfully presented art style. Like, while I said it does have kind of an old school look going on for it, at the same time, some of the effects that the game has in motion look absolutely stunning, and it kind of modernizes an old school look as well. It just looks great, and I think this is going to be one that people end up really enjoying, especially if you're a fan of action platformers. Foregone is due out on October 5th. Very excited for that one. Next up, we have Watch Dogs Legion, which will be out at the end of the month. I know Watch Dogs is a franchise that maybe hasn't hit on all cylinders, comparing it to the hype that Watch Dogs 1 had, and when that game was announced, man, people were absolutely stoked. I don't think the game has quite captured that level of hype with Watch Dogs 2 and even with Watch Dogs Legion, but I still do think Watch Dogs can be a franchise of quality, and Watch Dogs 2 I thought was a really good game. I thought in many ways it was like what Assassin's Creed 2 did for Assassin's Creed, with Watch Dogs 1 having some problems, but then Watch Dogs 2 was a much better game. Legion looks pretty good. It's just I don't know if Watch Dogs has really clicked with people in being that franchise that it's going to go to the next level. It's going to be a serviceable franchise, but I don't think it's going to be one of those marquee attractions that I think there was a lot of potential for initially. We'll see how Legion turns out. I've liked what I've seen thus far. I do think it's completely a terrible idea to release this game right around the same time as Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I mean, why are you doing that? The games are literally your own properties, and they're both open world adventures. I think people are going to pick between the two, and I think a lot more people are going to go with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Whatever the case may be, I might be very negative on the game, but it's still Watch Dogs at the end of the day, and I thought Watch Dogs 2 was a great game, so I hope that they can create another good one out of this one. Next up, if you guys follow this channel, you know that I'm big on JRPGs, and one of my favorites is The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel, and now we are wrapping up the franchise, at least the Trails of Cold Steel saga, with Trails of Cold Steel 4. Trails of Cold Steel 4 will be concluding Trails of Cold Steel, and man, what a ride it has been. I don't want to get into spoilers just because I know a lot of people, I see my comment section, and I've been able to sell a couple of you guys on Trails of Cold Steel, but it's not realistic to expect that all of you guys completed all 3 games at this point. Trails of Cold Steel 4 will be out on October 29th. I'm incredibly excited for it. It's going to be a phenomenal JRPG. We already know that based on the Japanese release of the game, and I think it's going to be one that if you're a JRPG fan, if you've been following this franchise since the beginning, man, we're heading into the final arc, the last stanza, so to speak, and I couldn't be more excited for that. As a JRPG fan, you should definitely check out Trails of Cold Steel in its entirety. Yes, you know, Legend of Heroes branches into a bunch of different games, and it's sometimes a little bit hard to keep up with the story just because there are so many sister games and everything really does come together. If you read up on it, you know, you don't have to play all of the games, but it is worthwhile to delve into the lore, because as far as world building, man, Legend of Heroes is some of the best that I've ever seen out of a video game. And yeah, having multiple 70-hour games, you know, you expect some quality world building when the games are all connected, but nevertheless, Cold Steel 4 out October 27th. Next up, we have Song of Horror Complete Edition. This is a game that was released on PC back on October 31st, but now it'll be coming to PlayStation 4. A third-person fixed-camera survival horror adventure. Fear the presence of a mysterious entity you cannot fight. Stay alert, hide, breathe slowly, explore cursed places where unseen spirits and lost souls linger in a true horror story for the ages. This had a very positive reception on Steam, 85% positive off of 645 Steam user reviews, and now it's making a transition to PS4. Hey, horror games are pretty in these days, and I think this is one that could end up surprising a lot of people, as it is going a little bit under the radar, but it'll be out October 29th. Speaking of horror games, boy oh boy, we got a big one in Amnesia Rebirth. Yes, Frictional Games is coming back to Amnesia. They're taking the works from Amnesia, Dark Descent, and Soma, the works that they've done in those games, and those 2 games were phenomenal. Now, they're taking their experience and combining that into Amnesia Rebirth. Amnesia Rebirth is a new descent into darkness from the creators of the iconic Amnesia series, a harrowing journey through desolation and despair, exploring the limits of human resilience. It's going to be a first-person narrative horror experience. Explore environments and uncover their histories, overcome puzzles that stand in your way, carefully manage your limited resources, both physical and mental, and encounter horrific creatures and use your wits and understanding of the world to escape them. Game will be priced budget-wise at $29.99, so that's great to see. And if you're a fan of horror game, top of your priority list to play this one. It's going to be a great one out October 20th. Next up, we have Ride 4. Yes, Ride is back with Ride 4. Are you ready to live the best gaming experience that a motorcycle fan can get? Ride 4 will spark your competitive soul with hundreds of bikes, dozens of tracks, and a whole new level of realism. Visually, the game looks fantastic, and if you're into a real feel biking game, Ride 4 is probably going to be right up your alley. And if you're a motorcycle fan, again, you're going to really end up enjoying it. There's a reason why there's been 4 games at this point. Even though it's not my cup of tea, I know a lot of people that do really enjoy it, so this one will be out October 8th. Next one, here's a game that's been out on PC for a little bit, now coming to PS4. It is Cloudpunk, a neon noir story in a range-rent cyberpunk metropolis. It's your first night on the job working for the Cloudpunk delivery service. 2 rules: don't miss a delivery, and don't ask what's in the package. Received pretty well, 3,629 Steam user reviews, 88% positive on those reviews, 73 on Metacritic. It's priced at $19.99. If you get a price point like that on PS4, that would be great. Love the cyberpunk setting, obviously. Cyberpunk kind of in these days, and Cloudpunk will be out on October 15th. Next up, we have the Survivalist, a living world full of surprises, secrets, and dangers awaits in the Survivalist, an adventure filled with survival sandbox set in the Escapist universe. So if you're familiar with the Escapist, which is great, here you go. Team 17 is coming back with the Survivalist. Explore, build, and craft, and even train monkeys with up to 3 best friends in a desperate bid to survive. Have you got what it takes to be a survivalist? An online co-op adventure crafting title with a very, very cool look to it as well. Kind of reminds me of the look of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, actually. I don't know if you guys will get that reference, but I don't know, the look of it kind of reminds me of that a little bit. Nevertheless, the island is alive. Your newfound home will change with the day and night cycle as you explore and uncover its secrets, hunt or be hunted, animals for food, and an array of mythical enemies who aren't necessarily pleased to see you. Build together, survive together, work together, and you will definitely have a quality co-op experience out of this one. It'll be $24.99, and it'll be out October 9th. There is a demo available on PC right now if you're interested. Next up, we have Raji, an ancient epic Epic. Raji, an Ancient Epic, is an action-adventure game set in ancient India, so pretty cool setting there. A young girl named Raji has been chosen by the gods to stand against the demonic invasion of the human realm. Her destiny to rescue her younger brother and face the demon Lord Mahabalsura. Desert aspects of the game definitely give me a vibe of Journey, but this one seems to have a story that's more, you know, told to you as a narrative experience, so that's pretty cool. And the game will be out on October 15th. Definitely one to keep on your radar. Another one with a demo available on PC. Next up, we have Icky and Fall. And Icky and Fall is a turn-based tactical RPG about a group of troublesome magic students using timing mechanics to power your spells and block attacks, explore the twisted halls of a vast magical school, fight challenging monsters and bosses, and uncover dark secrets never meant to be found. This is one that is definitely an old school RPG with pixel graphics, but I'm kind of into that. It's got 22 challenging boxes, 100 plus enemies, 48 unique spells, 3 students in battle from a total of 6, each with unique powers and strengths, so pretty charming RPG here. This one will be out October 8th. And lastly, another horror title, we have Remothered Broken Porcelain. Broken Porcelain brings an abundance of welcome changes to the series, introducing new gameplay and storytelling elements that breathe new life into the characters and an unprecedented level of immersion in a haunting adventure, perfect for both new and returning fans of this series. So obviously, this is a new game in the Remothered franchise. Broken Porcelain is going to be a more psychological horror title, and if you're into horror games, man, there's a lot to pick from next month, so this is going to be adding to the pile. We'll see how this one turns out, as it will be released on October 20th. As far as the history of the franchise, Tormented Feathers was released in January of last year, and that one was pretty well received as well, so we'll see how the franchise evolves with Broken Porcelain, as that's out October 20th. That's going to conclude this video. A ton of games coming in October. Sound off on which ones you're planning on picking up. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.